casual eye, there's nothing unusual about Unterhaching, a small town just a few kilometres south of Munich, Germany. But things are very different beneath the surface. In the 1990s, it was realised that the town sat on an unusual geological formation, a limestone layer deep within the Earth's crust. At a depth of 3.5 kilometres, the water it contained was undoubtedly heated by geothermal processes. But how hot was it, and how much would it cost to reach? Drilling for water is like drilling for oil. It's expensive and uncertain. Eventually, Unterhaching paid €3,000 per metre, a total of €22 million for 2 holes, one to pump the hot water up from the ground and the other to return it to the water-bearing layer. The drilling was successful and a pump house was built, in effect a power station where the thermal water is used to generate 3.4 megawatts of electricity an hour, as well as creating heating for the town's residents. The electricity is fed into Germany's national grid, and Unterhaching is paid for it, an expected annual revenue of up to €5 million. The project is entirely owned by the town of Unterhaching. Wolfgang Geisinger is managing director of the company that runs it.
This is a pretty big project that you've undertaken here. What was it that prompted you to start an enterprise that was risky and expensive?
We started that project because geothermal energy is a real local energy. You can generate more or less everything on energy you need within your town borders. You can get completely independent from all energy deliveries you need from gas, oil or something like that. Because we can make both. We can make distant heating and we can generate power from the same source.
It was pretty expensive, cost several million euros.
Yes.
How did you finance it?
It's completely financed by the community itself. So the guarantee is from the state. So and though the community was able to take our loans to start this project.
Was there any resistance in the community to this?
To be honest, there was no big resistance. I think everyone was excited about this new kind of technology. So distant heating systems are running in Germany since over 100 years, and distinct district heating systems we have in Munich, so just in the neighborhood. So that is nothing new. New is the kind of making that with geothermal water.
I think many people will be really surprised that you can generate geothermal energy when you're not in a volcanic zone, when you don't have access to volcanic energy like Iceland does,
yes,
and New Zealand does. But how are you doing that?
So we are on a specific area here. There was something like 140 million years ago a former ocean, and this ocean came under pressure as the Alps rised up, and they put this water and this former ocean down into the earth. So now we can find this old water, so to say, in a depth of 3.5 kilometers, and therefore the heating from the earth also is heating that water, and that water has now a temperature here at Unterhaching from 122 degrees Celsius.
You're using a new technology, aren't you, to do this?
Yes, it is. So we have two processes. One is distant heating, and that you can generate already starting with 85 degrees Celsius. But to generate power, you need more than 100 degrees Celsius. And as I mentioned before, with 122, we have something more that we need to make a steaming process. And it's more or less a mixture of ammonia and water, which comes under pressure and then begins to steam, and then it's running a steam turbine.
Unterhaching's new geothermal power plant supplies heating to public buildings like the town's swimming pool, as well as around 3,000 households. To achieve this, many of the town's roads had to be dug up so heating pipes could be laid. The town has plans to increase the coverage to up to 7,000 households, representing 70% of Unterhaching's residences.
You're an example to many towns that you're entrepreneurial and you've become energy independent. Do you think that you're a model that other towns should follow?
We have shown to a lot of people which are visiting us week by week that it's a running system, that you can run it constantly, that it saves a lot of CO2 emission. At least Unterhaching will save 30,000 tons a year with that what we have done. It's a huge amount. And again, if you want to offer your inhabitants a stable environment in energy supply, then choose geothermal energy wherever it's possible.
Unterhaching has shown that, far from being powerless, individuals acting together can create large-scale savings in greenhouse gas emissions and secure a perpetual source of clean energy. All it takes is vision, enterprise and self-belief.